Welcome to the English Out Loud podcast where you can listen to me giving you tips on how you can sound a little more natural in your speech. My name is Pat. I'm adjusting my microphone here, but I got it. And I'm here to help. I'm here to help people who need to improve on the go. Because you could play this while you're driving to work. You could play this while you're putting on your socks. You could play this while you brush your teeth. Download it, put it on, drink your tea. Just half listen. Just enjoy. And if you learn something, you learn something. Today I have some information of value because I am interviewing a great man, Mr. Ricardo Costilla. Ricardo Costilla is an HR manager, and he gives us a little bit of insight on job interviews today. We get into that in just a few minutes, and he's got some pretty valuable tips. And just as well, hearing about his own experiences using English, I gotta say, this guy knows his stuff. Anyway, let's get into that for today. Thank you for listening. And let's see what we got. Ricardo Costilla, a Mexican gentleman who usually we communicate in English. So we are just going to have a great chat about mainly about English-related things today, and we'll see how things go. So tell me about yourself, tell the audience about yourself a little bit. Ricardo, what do you do?
Well, I work in human resources. I've been working 11 years, maybe more. Right now, I'm a HR manager.
So, working in human resources here in Mexico, does English ever come into play with that, or are you speaking in Spanish most of the time?
No, actually, my work, I believe that English has been essential for my career path, right? Since forever. Because most of the promotions that I've gotten in my work and everything, English has been a big role on it. Like when I was starting, my first job was like a training coordinator. I got to travel to Milwaukee a couple of times and Phoenix, I think. I went there and they sent me there just because I knew how to speak English.
Oh. So it's not only, work and promotions, you also got to do a little business traveling.
Yeah, it was nice. And it was just because of that, because like at that time, my managers didn't speak English. So it was like, okay, so you're going there because you're the one that speaks English in the team. So anyway, those travels brought relations, higher positions than me. So I believe it has been essential to my role. And right now, actually, my current position is HR manager of a technical center. So this technical center, the managers that I support, they are in the United States, most of them. So I have people here, but they report to people in the United States. So when I have to do any changes for the worker or whatever, I need to speak to them. And when you talk about marketing, you talk about this something that's different, right? When you're selling something, you need to sell something different. So I think that's what's my talent on myself, right? It's that I know English, and that helps a lot. Other thing that it helps, it's like right now, human resources, and most of the information you find trainings that you have to take and understand the systems, they're in English. So I can understand the systems because I can take the trainings, because I can make questions and I understand when they answered me. A lot of my work is just getting these systems to work and helping like other regional managers or directors.
At what age did you start to enjoy speaking English, or did you start to notice that, hey, there's actually, something, this is a good skill to have?
Yeah, so as I learned as a kid, it was a little hard there because I had friends that were not learning English at the moment. And I was like, hey, why should I be working extra than other kids there and I want to go play or something? But I think, well, I really think I had a good school there because when I come to think about it right now, it's like I learned it uh, like without any big efforts. Like I see sometimes some adults come to have some big efforts to learn English. Um, I think because I learned as a kid, and then I think I started enjoying English when the internet appeared.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I am I was born on the '82. Internet didn't existed when I was a young kid. So
Mhm.
maybe I'm talking, say, 16 years old, 15 years old, I think, that internet started to play a role, right, in the world.
Yeah.
and 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 as 15, 16 years old, well, I started enjoying, like, at that moment was trying to download music and and,
Mm.
and reading manuals.
Well, yeah, you had to learn how to use all these systems.
Yeah, no, and actually at that
Yeah.
moment I was trying to be a hacker though, so
Ah, that was your
yeah,
life goal.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. At that moment, I wanted to be a hacker and to hack into emails and that kind of stuff. Just for the fun, they say.
The thrill. Being a hacker, that'd be something else. I mean, for one, that's a huge job because banks, for example, hire hackers to, like, they call them ethical hackers. And you're just there to try and, undermine the bank's security systems, for example. Or so many companies do this. Governments, hire hackers and they pay, like, I don't know how much. They pay quite well, I would think. But good. Well, here's I got a couple other though English related questions there. Tell me about a time when you were able to use your English to help another person.
Well, part of my life philosophy is to help whenever you can help. Or every time that you are able to help with something, anything,
Mhm.
I try to help with, right? There's lots of things like in my company is based in the United States, so the main offices are there. So my company is a big company, so we have about 16 or 17 plants in Mexico. Usually the managers at the plants they have some more trouble with English than I do. So what I do is to help all of these guys is when we have a new strategy and they push information in English, I try to do the translations and send
Mhm.
them everything translated and easier to read, right, for them. And I think that's helpful. Well, at least my boss had told me.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah, it's
Now, I want to make sure that because we don't have too much time today, but I want to make sure that we talk a little bit about interviews. Because you work in HR, you conduct interviews regularly. I believe you have for years, right? And so, do you have any tips for people who have English interviews coming up? Anything that you'd like to talk about that you think people need to know before they go into this?
yeah. I think I have a couple. First advice I will say is it will be very helpful for you to practice a lot with someone that speaks English. So
Mhm.
if you have like a teacher or someone that you know that can help you, so you can loosen a little before and practice a lot, right? Maybe do it 5, 6, 10 times. I don't know. And maybe if you are well, they could ask as well about your work.
Like a friend who speaks English could talk with you and ask you about your work?
Right. At the beginning of my career, I interviewed people for a call center that gave service to the United States. So um, these guys need to speak good English, right? Because they were going to sell stuff, to solve issues, and all that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
they needed to speak English really well. So I interviewed like maybe 1,000 people, and not all of them, of course, speak good English.
Sorry, just to be sure there, did you say a dozen or 1,000?
1,000.
Ah, there we go. This is an accent difficulty here. Just a tip. The TH sound in that word 1,000 is something that takes a lot of repetition to get. But all you got to do is practice by putting your tongue between your teeth instead of putting them, like pressing your tongue to your teeth. So a lot of people say like 1,000 instead of 1,000. Just tiny difference there anyway. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I had this teacher that used to tell us. She actually yelled at us at that moment in life, because teachers before they yelled at you. And but well, anyway, this same teacher used to yell at us, saying, "Hey, when you're doing the th, you should show your teeth." And she did that like that, and she always said, "You should show your teeth."
Yeah. No, it's a tough habit, but like, and people all over the world struggle with that kind of sound. Like, I got students from everywhere. Honestly, just about everyone stumbles with that one. But everyone is also capable of getting it. Like, I've seen miracles happen where people just consistently build that muscle memory, and in no time, they've got a clear TH sound. Anyway, though, about interviews. So, getting back to the topic, how many people had you interviewed there?
Interviewed like 1,000
There you go.
people there. And yeah, we have lots. I had lots of guys that didn't speak English at all. I even remember this guy that I asked him about his life. Like just a question was, tell me something about yourself. I don't know, family, hobbies, or whatever. And he started telling me something about that he lived in a house in the prairie with a river, and he just was telling me words. Like he was telling me with son and dogs.
Yeah. And that's actually an important thing as well, because like sometimes I'll help my students will practice interviews, and that question that you asked there, tell me about yourself, or I guess it's more of a statement, but whatever, that's in every job interview I've ever had, and it'll probably be in every one that I'll have in the future. And whenever I ask it to people, it seems to get misinterpreted sometimes. Like you said, people start talking about their dogs and their kids and all these irrelevant things every now and then. And so how would you suggest, like, what are people listening for? For you as an interviewer, if you ask someone, tell me about yourself, what do you hope to hear?
For one, I'm hearing the English. I want to hear the accent.
Okay.
I want to hear if they have if they can express themselves with different words, or maybe not easy words, right? Like just like house, dog, and family. I want to know maybe if they like cooking, what kind of food they like to cook, when do they cook. I want to hear them speak fluently, and that's the English part, right? But as human resources as well, you want to hear about their family, about their like hobbies, like if they like if you have a hobby about I don't know, killing lions, it's like maybe yeah. Well, if you're in a job for killing animals, yeah. But yeah, if you're like if you're a lion hunter, but if you're like an accountant and you like, don't tell that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, and yeah, I mean, as human resources, you look for that part of a stability in that person, because you want someone that's stable enough to stay in the job for at least I don't know, 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Or more, or their whole life if it's possible, if they have maybe promotions and that. I mean, you're looking for people that stay with the company for a long time. So that's part of the question is for stability, and the other part in English, talking about the English, is the fluency that they have to speak about anything that they want to share. I usually do this question about tell me about family, hobbies, or whatever you want. The question is that tell me about your about yourself family, hobbies, anything that you want to share with us. We just want to know you, right? That's like that's a question. Speak fluently, and if they start telling me about how they like reading, what do they like to read and cook and or whatever, but they speak fluently and they use plenty of words, not maybe just 2 or 3 words, right, to try to describe something. I mean, when you're describing something, you usually try to, and if it's something you enjoy, you usually have lots of words to describe that. And,
you get passionate about it.
Yeah, you get passionate about it. And that's what I'm trying to get from them. And when I don't get it at the first part, and because some people might have some issues like talking about themselves, right? Sorry. Just because you don't usually speak about yourself a lot, right? So when that happens, and I believe they are maybe they have good English, but they are having trouble talking about this topic, I go to business thing, and so another question that I make is like, can you tell me some problem or some really big problem that you remember that happened at your work, and how it was solved, and what was your part in the solution? Something that you have worked on, right? So that's another question related to job or to their work, and if they are not comfortable talking about their life, I expect them to at least be comfortable talking about their work, right? So that's a couple of questions that I make.
Just to pull it out of them, like you're saying there, you just, making sure that they can, it doesn't matter what exactly they're talking about. Well, I mean, it does matter what they're talking about. But the fact is, you want to hear that they know how to use English effectively. Yeah. And so I was misunderstanding, actually, of my own students. I was always assuming that you just want to have people talking about, work-related things or industry-related things, but clearly it goes beyond that. It's more, just talk. Just get it out of you. So everybody listening there, job interviews in English. You can do it. You've just got to pull it out of you, and you can do it. No problem.
Yeah, I think some things that we expect as interviewers as well is that we don't need to be pulling each word out of them. I mean, as you say, we expect the people to just start speaking.
And so get ready for that. And there are lots of services, actually. I mean, it's a little off topic, but online you can find plenty of paid services where you just get on and chat with people. Like one website, I've worked for this. It's called Cambly. You get on this website, Cambly, you just connect with an English speaker. Sometimes they're teachers, sometimes they're just people who are bored and, looking to work from home. But you just get on and you just chat, just pulling it out of you. So, as you mentioned there, practice makes perfect. And with English, if you don't use it, you lose it. But if you do use it, then you're going to see some results. That's the only way to see results with this. You can't just wait. You got to keep at it, which is why you're listening now.
Yeah, something that I do a lot and I like doing about you, you're saying just practice. I like when I watch like Netflix shows or anything like that, I usually watch them in English. I think that helps me a lot with new words. Maybe, I mean, I think I speak with good English, but still, from time to time you learn 1 or 2 new words, and that's.
Oh yeah, no, even I do. I learned the word loquacious lately, which is a great word, and I learned it from a Netflix movie, Inglourious Bastards. Great movie. And he says, your friend isn't a loquacious. He's not the loquacious type or something like that. Loquacious means talkative. That's all. It just means someone who's very talkative is loquacious. And as I've mentioned in the past, you don't want to say very. You don't want to say very talkative, because that's not using your full vocabulary. You want to say a word like loquacious. And you can just listen to people, and then you got your phone with you. You can look up anything that people are saying, any new words. Do you keep the subtitles on?
Yeah, in English.
In English. Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
sometimes I don't understand some of the words, so I go and try to read it. But I try not to read them, but I put them on in English just in case I.
Either way, yeah, it's breathe them, don't. It's getting your brain working in English, getting those wheels turning. That's important. Ah, nice. Good stuff. Well, for today, we could wrap things up for today. So, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Ricardo, for your time. We'll do this again in the future. Ricardo here lives in central Mexico. I'm living up in northern Mexico. And we just took a great little road trip down. My Estefania and I, we came a couple days ago, and this city's beautiful. I could see myself in a city like this in the future. But yeah, thanks for your time today. Do you have any last thoughts that you'd like to say for today?
Just practice and practice until you make it. You're welcome.
Totally. That's it. Practicing every day, whether it's Netflix, YouTube, online, chatting with people, anything. Just practice. Well, thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you again soon sometime. Have a good one.